Humanoid not quite available. Nice sidestep on the piercing line. Pokeball just gets the solo. He's gonna look to take down Oscar too.
MF is dead. We win. I killed them all, by the way.
It's not slowly.
Nice.
Welcome back. Mid lane has been incredibly important this series, so Perks and I thought we should break down why there has been so much attention in the mid lane. I thought, for starters, we could talk maybe about the mid lane matchups. I feel like mid laners, when they play AD mids, are just super mind controlled to trade really hard. We even saw FLICKR, you know, dying 1v1 level 2, just auto-attacking each other to death.
You have
Can you explain that? Why is that? Why is it so volatile?
Because both champions are strong in the lane, and there's obviously going to be like punishing for each minion you go for. You go for this minion, okay, I'm going to hit you. Or, okay, you go for this minion, okay, I'm going to hit you. And then, of course, in the game 4, there's like a bit of like more fighting because you're like, I just played a 50-minute game. I'm done with it. I just want to brawl it out. The rest of the series, I want to out-mechanic this guy. And obviously, the support interference is really huge as well. You can see both supports standing around mid the whole time. That's how the meta is in the bot lane. The bot lane is being played very much to secure prio, so your support can roam. That's usually how melee matches work.
That's exactly it, right? I feel like Mikyx has had move every single game this series, most of them, right? I remember the last game as well.
He has had the first move almost always.
MF into Kai'Sa as well secured prio. So do you think this is a really big thing in draft going forward? They have to consider bot lane prio. The blind pick Kai'Sa maybe, not the angle for Fnatic, because they keep getting push.
Yeah, it matters a lot. It matters a lot more people actually think. Like, G2 bot lane has been getting pushed 4 games in a row. And Mikyx is always first to impact the mid lane, and that's really annoying as a mid laner. You get kind of bored of it, you know? And like, Jhin is matching, is trying to match. It's just like, if you are winning, if like, you see Jhin is almost the same time as Mikyx around mid. It's just like, he is usually second on the move. And it makes a big difference. Mikyx is the first one to impact the lane, like to ruin Humanoid's lane state, to chunk him out, to burn his flash, to kill him sometimes when he disrespects or he misplays, right? And it's just a lot of pressure being put on him.
So last point, do you think it's a problem that because Azir is gone, do you think that stability that Azir offered made it so these roams to mid were less volatile because Humanoid maybe is more comfortable on Azir, so the trades are less egregious? Do you think that makes it easy for them to play and more likely to win through mid with these roams?
Definitely Azir is like harder to gank as well, and most champs you have ult and E, right? And you can kind of trade in a way where you're more safe as well. And like, for example, Lucian has to dash in to win a trade. Like it's just very volatile. You have to make it volatile. You need the help. So it's gonna be curious to see what Fnatic does for the last game, because I do still think Lucian's Humanoid's Lucian is not bad. He's pretty decent at it. So I wouldn't like completely drop it, but if they can find a way around it in the draft, I would probably opt for the other way.
Great info. Thank you, Perks. But I believe Sjokz is standing over at the stage. So yeah, Sjokz, take it away.
Yeah, I am. I absolutely am. And yeah, we're here with all the crowd who is like 50-50, obviously, for Fnatic and for G2. So we're going to talk about the win conditions, but maybe I want to know, is Fnatic going to win the next game? Is G2 going to win the next game? Listen, I'm impartial, but I will call out that I think more Fnatic fans are taking a bathroom break right now, so maybe that's why they're a little bit more quiet right now, so I'll try again at the end. But give me the win conditions for either team, and thus also showing your allegiance. Who do you think is going to win and why?
G2, of course. I'm not even paid by G2, so it's okay, guys. Just chill, okay? But they have shown that they have been the drivers of this series so far. They have made a lot of adaptations. They kept everything unorthodox, and one of the key things that they need to do to pull this series over the finish line is to keep enabling Mikyx and Yike to carry, because Yike has been pretty much everywhere this game, getting this series. They've been getting Broken Blade ahead when he needed, bailing him out when he needed as well, but the 3v3 pressure on mid was through the roof. BB, keep him on unorthodox picks. The Jace and the Varus were great throughout this series, and also keep Humanoid off the control mages, because it looks like he's still struggling with the ADCs. The Lucian has been great, but still, I'm not buying it.
Okay, you're not buying it. Jamada, you think Fnatic's going to win. That's how I'm going to phrase it. How do they do it?
I mean, for me, so far, Fnatic just look better when Razork is on an enabler, whether it's Sejuani or anything else that they feel like they need to put him on. I think it just works better for Fnatic. He's able to actually uplift Humanoid in the early stages of the game. Later on in the mid game, he can actually take engages, and then Jhin, Oscarinin can follow up on the rest of that, and that's what's been Fnatic's bread and butter when they look the best so far in this series. After that, you said ban away the control mages. I think they need to try and find something else outside of the Azir. To me, Humanoid so far today, obviously his Lucian game just now wasn't terrible by any means. It was fine, but I think the way that Fnatic functions holistically as a team, yes, individuals can pop up and do wonders for them, but as a unit, Humanoid needs to be on a control mage to help take control of the mid-game fights. And then the final thing is keep it simple. Overall, front to back, it's just been working better than any other iteration of what they've been looking for tonight.
Okay, let's see what happens in terms of the drafts and if they take on your win conditions. And it's kind of crazy. G2 was with their backs against the wall, but they've been in that position a lot of times. You know, Caps, namely, Mikyx, namely, even on the biggest of stages. So we know they can do it. But for the side of Fnatic, what a boon, what a momentum changer in terms of such an up and down year this would be.
Exactly, because given the series before, when they lost to G2, they went on a downward spiral. But right now, it really feels like after the game one, I was thinking it's going to be exactly the same. But they've been making adaptations. Honestly, it's everyone's series to grab. But at the end of the day, for Fnatic, this would be monumental.
Are you enjoying the games, though?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're not enjoying this series, I don't think you can call yourself a fan of League of Legends.
No.
This has been incredible. For the first time in a long, long time, it feels like Fnatic can take this series off of G2 in a pretty confident manner.
Yeah. As the players are stepping back onto stage, one more time maybe, is Fnatic gonna win? Is G2 gonna win? Back to you, casters.
Not a lot I can say to that many people shouting. It'd be tough for 3 people to compete with that level of passion. We'll do our best, however.
Well, we have Mike, so we get that.
Technology, the game changer.
But I am very grateful to all the fans coming out today. The energy has been absolutely electric. It's great that we're just getting an incredible series. It's been very back and forth. And it's been nothing but a bloodbath. I commented after that game, went to the boys, and I was like, that felt like a scrim game to me. The boys were just completely unleashed on the Rift. Everyone was just trying to outplay one another. And I think Fnatic would love to calm it down. I imagine that G2 is a team that thrives in the chaos. They love to be able to express their individuality, and I think we got to see a lot of that in the previous game. So now it's game 5. Fnatic find themselves back on the blue side. Things like Sejuani, very important pick. It's clearly had massive impact on the whole series, so we'll see what the priority is as we jump into game 5 draft.
And some smiles on the faces of Fnatic, a bit more lighthearted. Dylan looking very impassioned. You know what I mean? Clearly some serious talking to.
And we've got dramatic music.
And we've got dramatic music. I don't know what he's saying, but it is probably inspirational and/or a reminder to chill a little bit. Just a little bit.
Or I told you to go to the bathroom before we got to this point.
No. I can confirm both teams rolled up in force to the bathroom. It was full on everybody there. Now, people getting taken away though. Ashe, Varus, the Azir, control mages off the board. We heard that from Odo as a potential win condition for G2 Esports. Now the Tristana as well. Mid lane becoming more and more at the center of attention, while Fnatic content to ban away some of these pocket picks. The Ashe, something Hans Sama has used a lot alongside the Varus, which has been pretty key for Broken Blade.
Yeah, still have to be careful of Brand, Rumble, the Zeri we've seen high priority on as well. So there is still a lot of picks that you're trying to keep your eye out for, not even mentioning things like the Ezreal, which did slip through the last ban phase, but it's actually going to be the misfortune. So at least Fnatic trying to get a bit more settled into that bottom side of the map for Noah.
They're really trying to pinch Hans's pool. I think the problem is they are forgetting about Draven. It's not a champion that we've seen so far in this series, but I guess you have to be concerned about the potential Caitlyn answer, which can be pretty effective. With Rumble taken away, is Sejuani the first pick, or will it continue to be the brand on the side of Fnatic?
That's why I think you either go for Ezreal or Sejuani, and maybe if you take the Ezreal, try and force the Kai'Sa pick on the opposite side, so then maybe you can try and swap that into mid for Humanoid if you really want to, and play that same flex that G2 have been going for. But we'll have to see, because again, the Ezreal flexibility has been so strong for Fnatic.
What?
That is not where I saw it.
Renekton first pick?
Okay, so I think they're basically saying, pick the Sejuani or we will dominate your top side.
And I think that's what you do. You take the Sejuani here, and even if Broken Blade wants to go for something like a Gnar or even something along these lines, you're still in a great position to have not only a good counterpick for Broken Blade on the top side, but you get the Sejuani as well. Now, I think there are also just so many answers to Renekton that you could just take something that's strong for yourself, like even the Lucian, if you wanted to take on this side, or at least set up for a strong mid lane for Caps here.
I think G2's just going to do Jace. I mean, not now. They can just do Ezreal, or they can lock in an AD carry if they really want to. They could consider denying the Kai'Sa away. But I see no reason to steer away from the Ezreal. Lucian would also be completely fine.
Yeah.
Because you're also testing Humanoid, saying, you know what, we'll take the Lucian.
Because the one good champion of that was the Azir, and they've already banned it away.
Yeah, so they're really looking to try and attack his pool here. And we'll see what he brings out.
All right.
Nidalee for Razork.
Oh, wow.
And this is the other Renekton combo that is infamous, right? And this is a champion that was banned away earlier in the series. Now Razork, this is a champion he spams in solo queue. He's incredibly good at it, but this is a champion that historically for our region has been terrible, has been completely awful. This is a champion reserved for the elites of the world, and the pressure on Razork to execute in this game 5 is immense, especially when you see a Twisted Fate with a gold card locked in on the opposite side.
I mean, you summarized it very eloquently. My brain was like, is he him? Okay, because Canyon is the guy that I always think of when I see Nidalee, and there are some other fantastic Nidalee players around the world, don't get me wrong, but in Europe, as you rightly said, it has not been a champion that we have been able to make work. So to bring it out game 5, I'm excited to see what Razork can do.
Isma had a game. One game, and every time he walks it in, I will still ask, is he Canyon today? The question is Razork Canyon today? Is he ready for that level of responsibility?
But I think there is a way for your team to set you up to be him, right? And I think it's picks like Renekton, but even things like the Leona on the bottom side potentially for Jhin is another one that I'm looking at. The Draven ban says to me that chances are Fnatic are looking at some sort of like Kai'Sa, maybe it's going to be a Nautilus for Jhin in that bot end, but same idea, right? You have that guaranteed setup for this Nidalee, and if you have it on both side lanes, it makes it very difficult for Yike to try and compete with you on that first clear before you're able to get access to one of these side lanes.
I just respect that Razork has the confidence to say, I want to be the carry in this game. You know, game 5, he wants to put the weight on his shoulders, and we'll see if he can pull it off. As the AD carry pool, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 AD carries banned away with 2 locked in. Like, we are getting to the bottom of the barrel with Kai'Sa. Let's make it 10. Wait, what am I saying? Wait, yeah, that's 10 AD carries now. But the AD carries themselves haven't even got their AD carries yet.
Is it COG Braum time? Because when you look at what you need on Fnatic, the fact that you need engage for Jhin, you preempt it with the Braum, and then you can go for the cog mob behind it. You've got the setup. You've got the point and click CC.
They're going to take the Caitlyn away from Noah. Put the responsibility on him to show what else he's got in his pool.
This is something. A brief hover there of the Ziggs, something he's been spamming in solo queue, something he has been practicing, the debate. They've got Nidalee already for magic damage. Aphelios. The problem is you have the Nidalee, you have the attack speed steroid. You would love to pair it with a hyper carry, but you need a bit more magic damage.
Your poke is so... Actually, this is a decent Jhin angle. Your poke's so good with the Deadly Flourish, the setup with the ultimate, and you got it. So I do like this from Noah. I think it actually puts you in a decent spot. You're able to compete on the wave push, and you've already got a lot of damage elsewhere on the map. So Fnatic setting up for a loss of poke, but you do already have a good amount of tools on G2 to try and alleviate that pressure, right? Rapid fire cannon gold cards, Sejuani ult, and I imagine Mikyx gonna probably take something like the Nautilus or even Alistair now into this bottom lane.
I do think though that, well, I mean they have Sejuani, but when you have this much poke and range on the side of Fnatic, engage is really valuable. I mean, my one concern with the Braum is that I don't really think Fnatic want to engage on you very often. Nidalee, Corki, Jhin, they have so much range to play with. Of course, Braum really good at mitigating some of that poke, right? His Unbreakable is a very effective disengage tool, can block a lot of damage. But I do quite like what Fnatic have drafted when you look at their comp in its entirety.
Yeah, I think that basically this becomes Broken Blade engage. Essentially, the way you try and play this Twisted Fate is I am ulting heavily aggressively to start fights off, and I'm hoping that then whoever I gold card, we get the Sejuani follow-up, the Braum follow-up, and then suddenly we can just play through these double AD carries. Traditionally, when I've seen TFs play this style, though, it has been on an AP variant because you get the Zonyas, so you could start the fight, go invulnerable, keep yourself safe. It's going to be significantly more difficult to do that on an AD stall. So if Fnatic are able to play at range and play for like Deadly Flourish into Nidalee Spears and try and play for a lot of that poke, it's going to be difficult if G2 aren't able to start the fights off using things like the Sejuani ultimate effort.
High pressure on both sides. Razork especially, again, the Nidalee pick here. A lot of confidence from him. With the Braum locked in on the side of G2, their level 1 is powerful. See if they leverage it to disrupt this Nidalee early on. Both teams have been scrappy in Game 4. It was bloody. Frankly, it was messy in Game 5. They'll need to clean it up. Closer and closer as Berlin alive with the sounds of Fnatic and G2 fans on both sides. Game 5. Winner to finals, loser to the lower bracket to fight for another shot for a potential rematch.
And G2 have always looked comfortable when they've had pushing lanes, and this game is going to be no different. Across the board, each lane should in theory be able to get a decent push for themselves and continue to put that pressure on. But it's going to be Fnatic who are looking to disrupt that, to find a win in a best-of series that has been a long time coming for Fnatic over G2.
Important already. Mikyx going top, placing a ward. Not finding his support brother there this time around. Jhin will place a similar ward in the bottom lane, making sure that Hansam and Mikyx can't step up too far. Obviously, Braum level 1, very, very potent, especially with the range advantage that Caitlyn has. And now Fnatic maybe setting up something cheeky or just ready to punish if G2 try to make an aggressive play to interrupt the Nidalee. Instead, perhaps a delayed invade. Split the map, take control of bottom side.
Not going to fall prey to any Fnatic shenanigans.
But he spots him, crucially.
Yeah. Now, let's keep track of Razork's pathing in the early game. Of course, AP junglers known for their very fast clear speed. Nidalee, no different. Of course, Zyra and Brand, quite novel in terms of how quickly they can clear.
It's a lot easier. Anyone can pick up Zyra and Brand and clear the jungle.
The advantage of Nidalee is mainly just your Cougar form gives you so much mobility in terms of invading the enemy jungle in particular. You can steal camps, take creative paths, you can navigate your way around vision, and you can be a big nuisance for a champion like Sejuani. We'll see at what point Razork looks to try and do that and try and create some chaos in Yike's jungle.
And that's why I like that they've hidden Razork start. Knowing Jhin didn't help them on the first clear, they didn't show, everyone walked into lane at basically the time that they should, so nobody knows where Razork is on G2. Already though.
Quick level 2, the Ignite already going down. Nice response to but Mikyx lower and lower. Lucky for him, Noah runs out of ammo. Can't follow up on the kill, but Mikyx very low early on. Heal already down. Noah looking for the 4-shot, can't quite get it. It cost him his flash. Mikyx still standing, instantly popping a pot. But Fnatic in control of the lane for now.
Yeah, it was that pot that ultimately kept Mikyx alive. He's going to get level 2 now, a bit of extra HP back. But the bot lane off Fnatic doing some work there. We keep our eyes on the summoner spells. Both junglers pathing away from the bot side of the map for now. It's Oscar, whose HP is in dire straits. It's again, both junglers constantly surveying the map, looking for opportunities for a potential gank.
It's hard to try and make things happen though if you are Yike at the moment, because Broken Blade hasn't tried to push in too aggressively in that top side. A little bit nervous of Nidalee fast clearing into a potential play on that top end, so he's kind of keeping this wave like stacking well, but will slowly try to push it in as Yike gets onto this top side. And it means that then for Razork, I think it's just to try and get the Scuttle Crab. Maybe you can even run down to this bottom side and commit for a second one, as Mikyx had to go for the reset, but Razork going to go for any sort of potential play here.
Flash forward, gets the lineup, instantly going to go for the kill, finishing the job. Textbook.
That is the Nidalee Renekton. Like, it's very straightforward.
Jhin potentially stepping too far forward here. Concussive blows coming in, but luckily he's able to walk away.
Just flawless play from Fnatic. Razork following up from the flash stun.
Razork, where's the spear going to go? Hits Mikyx. Mikyx only level 2. Rue coming in from Noah. Now Mikyx getting lower and lower. 3 stacks, the concussive blow. Razork trying to follow up and another kill in the mid lane. Stun back onto Razork, but Fnatic off to a fantastic start.
Mikyx and Caps trying to play off the Braum Lucian power spike, but unfortunately not really a thing where they're able to get that CC down. But now Yike trying to step up. Humanoid very low mana,
returning Caps so damn low, looking to follow up. Yike queuing forward, Caps flashing out, and in this early game, Fnatic are getting every single advantage.
Razork picking this Nidalee. said, let me be the carry in this game. We asked the question, is he him? And he is having a great start. 2-0-0 on Nidalee, already an 800 gold lead. And he just walked up to Caps. He says, you don't have the HP, you cannot stop me. Forces another flash out. That's the level of confidence you need when picking a champion like this. And here in game 5, Razork is full of it.
Noah now potentially caught out here. Quick cleanse just to try to get rid of the movement speed slow, knowing he's probably dead if anything else comes through. Trap landing, G2, no slouch here in the bot lane exchange. Hansama grabbing that kill, Noah overstepping.
And how many times have we said it this series, when it looks like Fnatic are getting into a decent position, Noah overextends a bit too far and gets something back now. Jhin, you can't really hold on to this wave. It should crash. Hans and Mikyx going to make sure that it does so, and then look for the reset and a potential Void Grub spawn in 40 seconds as well.
Mikyx trying to get that wave to crash. Starts to back away just to make sure that Jhin cannot cancel his AD carry's recall. Hansama looking to spend that money. First base of the game. Jhin, though, keeping the battle going. Knowing that Jhin is eventually on the way. Mikyx, though, has... Stand behind me. He can't just leap to the minion. And, gentlemen, again, the pressure on Razork stays the same, though, because he is the one with the big gold lead. Renekton gives his flash to make sure that that kill can come through from him. 2-0, 800 in the lead. He has to keep this pressure up because we've seen across this series, ease of execution has been a big deal. And ease of execution is not in favor of the Nidalee in this particular matchup, even if the power absolutely is.
Well, the thing for Fnatic's comp, though, is the later you go into the game, you've got to remember that G2 are very reliant on Yike to engage. Dagda was talking about how Broken Blade has options to help the team set up for picks, but when you're relying on this Braum to act as like a disengage tool against range and poke, it's not as effective.
But I think this is where we're trying to look at how Broken Blade wants to orchestrate himself on the map, because you could look at where he was coming out of base. I think there's a lot of communication in G2 right now about how can we, well, look for the dive on bot for the cross map. They thought about bringing Broken Blade, they don't, but they're just going to look for the play regardless, because Noah has nothing up.
Noah, no cleanse because of the previous exchange, uses to get rid of the slow. Still was taken down in the end. Any piece of CC lands, a trap will surely follow. Looking to lock up all those stacks. Mikyx likely to fall here, but they'll at least get Noah in the exchange. Putting him further and further behind. Another trap connecting from Jhin. Getting lower. Ace in the hole comes out, taking their time, resetting aggro, going back in. Flashback from Yike. Jhin will finally fall. 3 kills for Hansama.
Well orchestrated by G2. Yes, you get one back, but Broken Blade just being a nuisance here to Razork on that top end. He knows that he can't really stay underneath the tower because, well, Oscarinin can come across and get the play. Mikyx now stepping up to the top end to make sure Broken Blade can get back underneath the tower and try and get some of these, as the spear just goes wide.
Mikyx coming. Very valuable for G2, just because it means that Broken Blade has access to the wave once again. And as you rightly said, this game is becoming a very interesting dynamic where it's top side versus bot side. Fnatic playing through their strong side due to the early investment, the early gank really paying off for them. But because Hansama was able to find that kill back onto Noah, now G2 have a lane that they can play through and punish as much as possible. You can see that represented in the gold differences as well. Why the gold at the top of your screen is very even. This Caitlyn is going to become a menace. We saw what Noah was able to do with it in Game 3. We'll see how Hansama can do for his team in Game 5.
This Caitlyn is a menace. That is boots to BF sword. Noah cannot walk up. He has less range. He has less damage. The isolated 1v1, similar to all these MF lanes we've been seeing, is once again so difficult for Noah and both supports. Still clearly looking to get out of lane, looking to pay attention elsewhere, and that just means that Noah really isn't going to get to participate much in this game. The good news is it's a similar story for Broken Blade on the top side. Oscarinin taking control. Razork also incredibly far ahead. Means he's always going to have to be on the back foot. And now, Mikyx showing up in mid lane. Hansama on the way, something that has to be respected. 4 members of G2 in the area. Noah only now starting to move up, but no play to be had here yet.
And this is where you do have to be a little bit careful, because I agree with Vedi that in initial trying to set up a play, Mikyx's not great on the Braum. It's very difficult to land your stuff, but when you are playing follow-up, I think you are really strong, because if Yike lands a stun, suddenly you get Mikyx's ultimate into a follow-up with the Winter's Bite, and suddenly you've got all this CC that's starting to compound upon itself, and I think that's where you've got to be very careful when Yike and Mikyx start to work together. It's while these frail Yordian champions are so strong together.
Secure. Could just be the 50. Razork goes in. A casual steal. They're now looking to follow. Mikyx ready to body block as much as he can with the Unbreakable. But Yike, incredibly low. Sidestep on the curtain call. Crucial. Hansama getting chunked out. Razork untouched though. This is one powerful Nidalee. Mikyx forced to flash away. A confident maneuver into the pit to steal on the 50-50. So Fnatic happy with that one.
A nice steal from Fnatic. They've got the 3 grubs. They've got themselves the first dragon. The bot side of the map is supposed to be G2's strong side, but Razork, with a little contest, was able to walk in and steal that objective away. Of course, it does cost him his flash, and he was likely considering jumping out of the pit, but Fnatic did a good job of holding their own in the fight as well. We look back, no kills actually end up dropping, but look at this. Razork actually over the wall, nice fight steal. And then he has to flash, and at this point he's considering, do I disengage? But no, the damage is good enough that they can actually stay in the fight, and G2 is the one that's forced to retreat.
It was a great job from Jhin, the engage, to dissuade G2 from being able to follow up from Razork as he initially got engaged on. But also then Humanoid being able to come in on the flank meant the Hansama couldn't really continue up, and Caps was so focused on getting Yike out, and may need to do it himself.
Body block there for Mikyx. Stand behind me into the Unbreakable. Not going to be able to proc any concussive blow stacks. Early on, of course, the Corki burst damage much higher.
You still have to be very careful though, because one of the things that we used to see a lot when Lucian first got released was Lucian Braum together, because the passive from Lucian is so good at proccing the stacks from Braum. So if Humanoid does get hit, you know, one combo from Lucian, you're immediately CC'd. So Humanoid giving a lot of respect to just that alone on G2.
Look at the positioning of Razork though. The grubs have just respawned. He alone should be able to secure this as Fnatic have control over the mid wave. He knows that the Renekton, while likely not forcing that push early, can easily collapse. His wave is in a good spot, so Fnatic's setup is nice. The Caitlyn will, of course, be able to get another plate, though. Yike hovering around the bot side of the map. Grub secured, Dragon secured. Fnatic with a great early game.
Again, the pressure on Hansama to really carry this one, because 6 grubs coming through for the side of Fnatic. That attack speed steroid for Razork. Their tower taking threat. If anyone mispositions or takes a poor base timing, incredible. But G2 setting up on bot side, looking to play to the strong point of the map. Noah still bits and pieces here. Hansama hasn't had a chance to recall. Getting closer and closer to that first item.
But even if they don't get the dive, they're still getting damage onto these plates in the bot side. They're still extending. Hansama's lead, but Freebie walks in.
Wandering in. Dominus waiting for the gold card. Finds a bit of CC. Good upfront damage. TP coming in, looking to punish Oscar for overstaying. But that means Caps leaves the mid lane tower unattended. Oscar trying to get out. How long on the dash cooldown? Flash out to safety. Coling now coming in. Fob with a gold card. Oscar taken down. Yike quick to cover the mid lane as well.
Oscar didn't manage to stack his rages. In the bot lane, Noah just managed to snipe out Mikyx. Wasn't able to get away. The combo, it looks like with Jhin CC being able to set up there. Now Humanoid going to be able to take this mid lane to her plates.
At least one. Obviously with 6 grubs. Close to taking a second. You can see the power of the Corki early on. Yike really cannot step up here.
I mean, sure, you killed Oscar.
Full commit, nice ulti coming through, but Broken Blade is here. The semi-global pressure coming in. Hansama taking the kill, more gold for him. The collector completed, an extra 25 on top.
Okay, ultimately, I think that play was better for G2 because they were losing a lot of gold and control. Braum hit, backing in the brush, gets spotted out. Doesn't have the AD carry to jump to safety, of course doesn't have the flash. So ultimately, just a mistake there from Mikyx. Fnatic rightly punishes it. But that kill onto Oscar, I thought to myself, Caps committing TP for just this, a kill onto a Renekton, this doesn't really feel worthwhile. But them also finding that pick onto Humanoid, I think made it much better.
And now the plates on bot lane as well. You can see Hansama able to move into position to get more pressure on this bot side turret. Will need to try and trade it because Oscarinin has already taken that on the top side. This combo between Razork and Oscarinin doing a lot of damage to the map state, but I don't really know if they're in a position to do so, especially since it's Humanoid who's on that bottom side to try and clear it out. Mikyx looking to zone.
Can use the Unbreakable to block any more wave clear. They're going to be able to complete this in the wave instead, trying to go for the play, but Jhin on the way in. G2 immediately pulled back. 2 more shots from the tower before the wave is cleared. Can they please stick around? One more auto. Can't finish the job.
If the minion died, it may have even been 2 autos, which puts G2's bot lane at too much risk. And now Razork is on the bot side of the map as well. No minion wave for them to even play with. So that tower on the top side traded for nothing.
Oscarin's here as well, though. They really want to make the play on bot side.
Caps roaming back into mid lane. Yike waiting in the brush, needs to get out.
I mean, Fnatic just bullying their way back into the bot side of the map. Look at this immaculate vision control. Observers, if we can see what G2 see on the map right now, you'll see that there's very little.
They see that everyone from Fnatic is on the bottom side though, and that's all they need to get BD to keep pushing in this top side. Humanoid should TP top, but actually they're playing mid.
Solo kill on Noah in the mid lane. Caps needed to be the difference maker, needed to find that angle, but it might cost him. He gets the kill. Giving money over to Humanoid, though, would not be ideal. Once again, he did this once before. Hiding in a random brush, looking to dash over the wall, but Humanoid can follow quickly. Caps will get taken down here. Humanoid happy to grab that one.
At the very least, Fnatic trade 1-for-1. Caps also committed his flash, along with Noah, admittedly, as Razork has just continued to farm up. Notice he has a 30 CS lead over his jungle opponent. He is at level 10 right now, and he is a 1.4k gold lead. He's in a great position on this Nidalee.
The thing is, though, we're seeing a lot of trades on towers and 1-for-1 and kills over the last couple of minutes. But the big thing that you got to keep your eyes on is how Fnatic have been consistently getting onto the side of the map that has the objectives. Dragon is in their favor. They're now got those 6 void grubs. They were on the Rift Herald side if they want to try and accelerate this game as well. But we're just going to get a replay of, Noah just walking into Caps, and Caps is more than happy to punish him for it. Really well orchestrated by Caps.
Yeah, and the Dragon is alive, so hopefully we can get straight back into the game because, I'm not surprised to see Fnatic concede this because they know the Herald's alive as well, and they think that's a more important objective. They can use that to break open the mid tower. But I will say that Fnatic have definitely deprioritized the Dragon. The first one, to me, was a bit of luck, They tried to go for a steal, they made the steal work, and they were happy that they got it because it significantly reduces the risk of G2 trying to force a fight around a soul. But it's clear that their objective has not actually been playing for that. Instead, they've secured all 6 scrubs, they've got themselves the Herald, they can now secure the mid tower around the next Dragon if they want to, or pretty much whenever they want to. You can see Razork making a beeline straight towards mid right now, so I imagine that'll be their next game plan.
I don't even think you need the Herald for this, though. I think you can just push it over with enough brute force here with the way you position the map. They do have to be careful Broken Blade coming in with TP, which is why you're seeing Jhin starting to get that vision down, but you have the wave control here for Fnatic, so look for the tier 2s with that Rift Herald instead of just looking for the mid lane turret.
You're right, Dagda. Their eyes are set on a grander prize, given the damage that they've been able to do. They want to secure this tower. TP now committed.
Excellent read. Humanoid backing up. Initial charge is good. Just some damage in the end. Fnatic don't really have the tools to follow up. All of G2 called over. It costs them Caps' TP, however.
And of course, as you rightly said, so many drawn over now opens up the mid lane. Just a sequential setup play. Fnatic, maybe they can't secure the tower on this wave. Noah just going to clear out the minions and then back off as the rest of Fnatic choose to reset.
Yeah, I think they needed to leave Noah in mid to basically create that second point of pressure, so Noah could have cleared wave, and then you group onto the mid wave turret as G2 overcommit to the bottom side of the map. But now G2 kind of just get to defend too, and it's not like you're in a position to really threaten the tier 2 and bot, but again, numbers trying to push advantages here in the mid lane, use that poke to push back G2, but they're just not going to be able to get to the tower.
Broken Blade using his ulti to move down to bottom lane, take the last little tick of health off that bot lane, tier 1 gold. Still about 2,000 in the favor of Fnatic. 6 scrubs paying off for them as they've been able to knock down a lot of these objectives. Still 2-2 in the tower score overall, however.
The Destiny being down from Broken Blade off the back of that means that Fnatic can play way more aggressive on the map, though, and immediately you can see Oscarinin pushing in top, and now they can move in towards the mid lane if they want to.
Notice how awkward it is for Caps. The last minute, he's just been walking around. Because the Twisted Fate went to the bot lane when top lane was already pushed in, he actually didn't have a wave that he could catch. Mid was also being caught. He tried to go for the Scuttle Crab, and then Yike's red buff ended up securing it. Only now can he actually catch this wave. If Fnatic were able to find a pick onto him right now, it could be a huge experience swing. But he is able to catch it. He's going to be perfectly safe. But it's been a bit awkward for him. The lane assignments have been... Well, the waves have been a bit awkward for G2 over the last few minutes as Fnatic has been controlling the map very well.
Walk up and delete the mid lane tower too. Third tower for them. Breaking up in mid is massive for this Nidalee. Again, already such a threat from Fog of War. That much easier when you have so much passive vision control.
And Fnatic's threat in the map becomes so much higher. Well, one, when they can blow up Caps, but two, Broken Blade doesn't have the Destiny because he can't match or come in behind them on plays like this.
Going for the full in engage. Now TP coming in behind them. Unbreakable about to fade away. Caps for now untouched. Hansama does good damage, but can they delete Oscarinin? And yes, they can. Traps laid down to punish the TP, but now curtain call. Broken Blade quick to body block. G2 disciplined.
And ultimately, a bit of an overcommitment from Fnatic. They still did secure the tower. It only cost them their top laner, so you could argue that's still a worthwhile trade. But that was definitely a situation where they tried very hard to kill Mikyx, and he showed how durable he was. The backline was able to just melt through this Renekton, who didn't really stand much of a chance. And so G2 found themselves a kill, but the gold's still heavily in favor of Fnatic.
And you can see as they step up here, Mikyx steps forward, finds that moment where he tries to buy space, so they will end up being able to pick off at least the TP Renekton. But G2 very low over the course of the back of that, and Broken Blade being able to block these last 2 shots is super nice, but it still is Fnatic getting control of the map. You're limiting Broken Blade's impact on the map by having these waves pushed in. You're limiting the options for G2 to find these engages. And if Fnatic continue to get presence on this bottom side of the map, you look at Dragon in 49 seconds where they already have a ton of vision there. They can play back into that and trying to get through choke points where you're running into Jhin, Noah, Humanoid, and even Spears from Razork. It's very difficult for G2 to buy this space back.
I can tell that Fnatic fans are feeling, well, they're probably feeling mixed right now. They're like, we're in a good spot. Fnatic looks poised to win this game, but we've watched a lot of Fnatic games before, and we know how quickly the tides can turn. So I imagine the pressure and tension is very high for Fnatic fans.
I feel like both fan bases have to be in the same boat here.
Well, I feel like G2 fans never know what they're going to get, so they're just kind of riding the wave and seeing what happens.
That guy said hell yeah. So apparently you hit the nail on the head.
One guy's hair is on the line.
That's true. Forget finals and worlds. That guy's hair is on the line right now.
And both teams grouping up in mid lane, mainly to gain access into the river. It's G2 that approach first. The mid tower for Fnatic still alive though, so they'll quickly catch that wave. The poke from Fnatic. This is where we get to see it in action though.
Hantama really hasn't been able to set up a trap line either. Mikyx no Warmogs yet means it's hard for him to regain that life. Destiny for a bit of extra information. They know where Oscar is. They're looking to just lock down the Renekton, but they don't have vision in the brush, crucially. Now turning their attentions back, trying to kick the fight off, looking to delete jump before the fight even starts. Mikyx backing up, body blocking as much as he can with the Unbreakable, but it's Oscarinin in the back line, deleting Caps. Now the rest of Fnatic ready to follow up. Hantama trying to get out, Broken Blade getting in front of that damage, but the Caitlyn, as strong as she is not enough in the face of 3 carries. Noah with the triple, Fnatic with the fight.
That's an ace for Fnatic. 20 minutes in, the Baron will be theirs, the fight will be won, and Fnatic looking to finally take down G2 after so long.
Fnatic executes so well on their poke. We'll see it as we start in here, constantly forcing G2 into positions that are difficult. Broken Blade tries to go onto Oscarinin, but goes onto the pink ward, so they don't have vision anymore. Jhin is just buying the space, and even though this looks somewhat bad because Jhin goes down, you're just playing at long range this whole time, making sure that G2 are constantly in the back of Oscarinin, getting access onto the backline. Even though he's tagged by the Braum stun, doesn't really matter. And Fnatic are able to run over G2 over the course of that fight.
Yeah, very small things at the end there, like Broken Blade trying to flash away from the 4th shot from Jhin, and he ends up flashing into it, giving enough damage for the rest of Fnatic to clean him up at the end of the fight. Fnatic are in such a good spot. I don't think G2's composition gets any easier to play as the game goes on. This Twisted Fate has the ability to find picks in the late game, but we talked about it in draft. Fnatic have so much range. We get to see how much poke they have, and when they're ready, they can start the fight whenever they want, thanks to Jhin.
And we have to give credit again to Oscar and Razork. B1 Renekton. Psycho. B2 Nidalee makes sense now, but now the jungle pick is crazy. And then that first kill in every moment since then, 2-0-4. Yes, 3 deaths for Oscar, but in that fight he was clutch. G2 not able to stop that Renekton from flanking. And this has just been a massive problem. In a game 5, to use such volatile picks is a huge sign of confidence from this Fnatic lineup.
But it felt like this was the ace up the Fnatic sleeve, right? They pick Renekton saying, hey, you're going to take Sejuani, knowing they had the Nidalee prepared and available. So Fnatic setting the trap, and G2 walks straight into it. And now Fnatic trying to set up once more. See if they can trap G2 in their own jungle, get that wave pushed in and top, look towards these last 2 outer towers.
Oh, the edge of the sweeper. G2 can now look to step up. Unbreakable there, ready to body block. Gold card down, fall damage is non-existent. Good all coming in from Mikyx. Oscar likely to give his life, but manages to live. Now Jhin looking to turn it back, but it's Caps on the flank. Caps with the calling, trying to do some good damage. Already though, Yike down, deleted. Jhin deleted. 2 kills in the favor of Fnatic thus far.
And they just didn't have the damage to kill Oscarinin. It was CC after CC. Every single member outside of Caps was hitting onto Oscar, and they just couldn't get him down. He has the TP. He's going to return to the mid-jungle, and he will secure Baron for his team. 4 members of Fnatic alive. No jungler with the smite on G2.
G2, can they contest 4K? Getting lower, gold card ready to go. Humanoid off to the side, locking down Caps. Excellent route from Noah, and they turn it in an instant. They get the Baron. Oh, and an extra helping of G2 on the side. Fnatic, 8K in the lead in game 5.
The Fnatic faithful, where were you when Fnatic rose to take down G2? In this brush, they make their stand as G2 think they can step forward. Mikyx with the Unbreakable in the front line, but you're all set up for, again, just damage from Noah. Humanoid is able to come in too quickly from the top side. A great re-engage from Jhin, and sure, Caps TP's mid to get this flank, but the damage is done. And again, that long-range poke coming in clutch for Fnatic.
Incredible team fighting from Fnatic, just utilizing their comp so well. Then look at this route that comes down onto Caps. He's trying to make the play. He knows he has to do something, but then the damage comes through, the route connects, and then it's just cleanup. Fnatic have come up huge in this game 5. They are reigniting the rivalry, and they're looking to take down G2 to make their way to the summer finals.
Spear lands on Caps. The trap line does a little bit of work. Onsama's still relatively strong. Fnatic can't afford to falter now. The game's not over yet. Even if they're incredibly favored 10K lead, it should just be theirs. But how many times have we said that? The push coming in. Inhibitor will fall. 6 grubs just continuing to pay off with this composition. 3-0-8 for Razork. Career-defining performance in this game 5. Stun, good thing to kick off. Coling in the back there once again, just trying to delete Oscar. The damage finally going to be there. The gold card now coming in. Razork going to be in trouble. Caps off to the side, dueling Humanoid. Mikyx there to try to body block. Looking for 4 stacks until he comes to blows. Mikyx now needs to get the hell out. Caps healing up as quick as he can. But this is at the final stand of G2 in this best of 5. They've done it! They don't have enough left on the side of G2 to hold the line. Trying to break the base down. Caps moving in. 849 days. How long have Fnatic waited? How long have their fans waited? Victory over G2 Esports.
Fnatic stand tall against the wave of G2. They set a trap in draft, G2 walked into it, but Fnatic executed perfectly and now find themselves in our summer finals.
Fnatic, after their loss to G2 during the regular season, questions began to rise. But today, they were able to doubt those queries. A huge performance from them. They make their way to the Summer Split finals. G2 will move down into the lower bracket. And after watching this series, many teams are going to be like, that's not going to be an easy road to make the summer finals.
Certainly not. Of course, you saw on the screen moments ago, key player of the series, Razork, Noah, or Jhin. An incredible day for Fnatic, no doubt. G2 fans still trying to reassure their team, but I gotta say, incredible game 5. We saw in a recent interview from VOD Esports with Yike, he said, yeah, at this form, you know, I think I'm ready to go toe-to-toe with Canyon. Well, he's got to be Canyon at home first. Razork, masterclass in the Nidalee.
It was a really great game. We rarely get to see such
a great series.
Yeah, the entire way through.
Yeah, it was just, rarely do we get to see that type of Nidalee performance, but you talked about it. It's something he's extremely confident on in solo queue, but to bring it out in game 5, Nidalee, of all things, in LEC was not something I would expect, but he deserves nothing but respect for a performance like that. And 9-3-7 for Noah, 6-1-8 for Humanoid, 3-0-12 for Razork. Just the Fnatic lineup having a clear game plan in game 5. I think they did outdraft G2 in the final game, and they executed it flawlessly.
And the absolute faith across the team and the coaching staff in a game 5 to lock in a Renekton that had looked so bad for most of the series. Put all your faith in Nidalee, a champion that once again doesn't do a lot historically at LEC. A gamble that paid off, and the confidence of their players, it's always good to see that rewarded on stage.
And I mean, I think the most exciting thing to me is we're finally getting to see a reignition of the rivalry. It feels like it's been so G2 favored for so long.
Let's rap about it. Give me a beat. No.
I mean, incredible stuff. Great series. We've had a great day. It's been a ton of fun. Thank you, G2 Fnatic, for delivering an incredible one.
Yeah, and of course, thank you to Razork for that Nidalee game in game 5. It's probably what all the Fnatic fans are saying as he's standing by with Laure and our Marriott Bonvoy post-game check-in.
Thank you so much, guys. And the Fnatic fans can be rewarded, as it's been 2.5 years since they beat G2 in a best of 5. Razork, thank you so much for joining me. You made a lot of people. All right. Any first impressions after this series? You made a lot of fans happy tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Today I actually woke up and I felt like we were gonna win. I mean, usually I feel like this many days.
Yeah.
But today I just had the extra feeling that today was gonna be a good day, and it was.
Yeah, it was indeed. And as Drakoos said, Canyon cosplay in Game 5. Tell me about the Nidalee pick.
Well, I mean, it's a champion that since last week I started spamming a lot in solo queue because I actually think that the champ is really good in the meta and against all the junglers. So I was spamming it. That's why they were banning it the whole series, and they probably said, we will just leave it open Game 5. Let's see if they pick it. My coach told me, pick Sejuani, and I said, no, I want to go Nidalee. And
wow.
It worked.
Huge statement here, Spanish Canyon in the LEC. Amazing performance from you, honestly. But what did it come down to? Because when I think of games going to Game 5, usually people would give it to G2. But you were telling me you had a feeling today that you would make it. So what did this game come down to after all these nerve-wracking fights?
I think it was a wild series, not gonna lie. I think the first game we got mega stomp in early game, and the draft was also really hard. Second game, it was a bit more calm for us. The third game was, I don't know what was that game, honestly. I think G2 trolled a lot. They could have won that game. And I think overall it was like really good series. I had a lot of fun. So I'm waiting to meet them again in the final.
For sure. Or maybe someone else, we'll see. I saw a jungle's diff fan sign here in the audience. Do you feel like it was a jungle diff in Game 5?
I mean, I think the moment... Calm down. The moment you pick Nidalee against Sejuani and you get ahead in early game, it's kind of easy because you are always ahead in tempo, right? But I think I played pretty good. I also think that I got gapped by Yike many games too. I think the Maokai game, I got really stomped in early game. I was like a bit lost. But I think the 5th game, it could be a bit of jungle diff, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, the fans chose you to be the player of the series today, Razork, so I feel like they all thought you had a pretty good performance. Tell me about the confidence level lately, because I haven't been talking to you guys that much, but after the last time you faced G2, all I kept on hearing was, G2 broke Fnatic, G2 broke Fnatic, and you guys kept on losing, so tell me about this new confidence that you guys have.
I mean, I think it's part of our identity as a team. I think like we're a very emotional team, and it can be good and it can be bad. I feel like not the way we lost against G2 or when we lost against them, but when we start losing, we tend to like lose a bit confidence, and then we start playing worse. And I mean, honestly, it's something that we are trying to fix because we're treating practice very seriously and making sure that we get the confidence back from scrims if we're not getting the results that we want in states. And I think the practice that we had after the tournament that we did away from here, I think it was very good.
I'm glad that you mentioned these tournaments that you did away from here, because you can beat G2, but you cannot beat Team Liquid.
I mean, I guess Team Liquid is so strong, I don't know. I mean, I actually think Team Liquid is actually a pretty strong team.
All right.
They are not bad, but I have to say that the moments we played against them, we were really running it down. And we picked Kassadin, and we didn't do anything. I couldn't hear you. What did you say? Okay.
It's fine. We'll discuss later.
I don't know what he said.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Razork. Anything to say to your teammates waiting in the fan zone? I think Perks is still here. He was watching the game. Any message for Perks, maybe?
Yeah, Perks, I saw you in the entrance of the game. You were on the side of G2. You didn't even say hi.
Oof.
That was a bit rude from you. But yeah, hello.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. Razork, thank you so much. Amazing interview here, and congrats on taking down G2.
Thank you.
Sjokz, over to you, 50GL. In the fan zones, you should all join this way.
Thanks for the direct